Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something that's, well, it's really changing how we all work. AI assistants.
hmm
The chatbots, the virtual helpers we bump into pretty much daily now.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Exactly. And they're transforming everything, right? From quick research bits to handling complex customer support, even generating pretty detailed business reports.
And behind a lot of that are large language models,
Hmm.
LLMs, these huge neural networks trained on just vast amounts of text.
Right. So they understand language, they generate it, they take your question, look at their training data, and try to figure out the best
It's
answer.
basic idea, yeah.
But here's something I find really interesting, and it's often a huge hurdle for companies. For these AI tools to give answers you can actually trust, answers that are really effective.
They need more than just that general training data.
Precisely. They need access to complete, accurate, and crucially real-time data. Data specific to your organization.
Your internal knowledge.
Yeah. And that's where so many businesses just hit a wall. I mean,
Right.
organizations are swimming in data, just enormous amounts of it.
Oh, absolutely. Structured stuff like databases, spreadsheets, easy enough, relatively speaking.
But then there's the other kind, the unstructured data. That's the bulk of it often, isn't it? PDFs, presentations, internal emails, PowerPoints, recordings, transcripts, chats.
The list just goes on and on. It's messy.
It is. And here's a stat that really brings the problem home. Did you know that less than 1% of all that internal company data was used to train the big LLMs we use?
Wow. That's tiny.
It's a huge missed opportunity. So the big question for us today is, how do we actually unlock the value that's sitting there hidden in all this untapped internal data? How do we make our AI genuinely smart and trustworthy?
And the answer, interestingly enough, lies in something called content-aware storage.
Content-aware storage. Okay.
Yeah, think of it as intelligent data infrastructure. It doesn't just hold your data.
Yeah.
It actively tries to understand what it means, its context. So this deep dive, we're going to unpack how this content-aware storage really improves a key piece of AI inferencing, something called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
RAG. Heard of it.
Our mission today is really to get our heads around how this tech changes AI's potential by finally letting it tap into all of an organization's data wealth.
Okay, so let's unpack that term you use, content-aware storage. How is that really different from, just sticking files on a network drive or in a standard cloud bucket? What does understanding meaning and context actually look like?
That's a great question because the difference is pretty fundamental. Traditional storage is, let's be honest, kind of dumb storage.
Okay.
It just holds files,
Right.
like digital boxes. You can maybe search by a file name, some basic metadata, but it doesn't, read the document inside, doesn't get the content.
Right.
Content-aware storage, though, it's different. It's an active player. It takes in all that varied, unstructured stuff, the PDFs, emails, PowerPoints you mentioned.
All that messy data.
Exactly. And it processes it. It pulls out entities, names, places, concepts. It figures out relationships between things. It indexes everything semantically, understanding the meaning, not just keywords. It builds this rich knowledge graph underneath.
Oh.
So it doesn't just know where the file is. It knows what's inside it, how relevant it is, and how it connects to everything else.
Okay, so that analogy. It's like going from a library where books are just shoved onto shelves randomly, maybe sorted by size,
Right.
to one where every book isn't just cataloged by title and author, but the librarian has somehow read every book and knows the themes, the arguments, and how this chapter relates to that paragraph in another book across the room.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
An incredibly knowledgeable librarian for your data.
That sounds, frankly, amazing for just finding information. Now, you mentioned our retrieval augmented generation. How does this super smart storage specifically boost ARG?
Right, our RAG. It's so important for enterprise AI because it tackles a core weakness of LLMs.
Mm,
They can sometimes hallucinate,
Yeah.
make stuff up. It sounds plausible, but it's wrong. Especially when you ask about very specific or very current or internal company stuff they were never trained on.
Okay. The plausible nonsense problem.
Exactly. Argy tries to fix that. It adds a step before the LLM generates anything. When you ask a question, Argy first goes and searches a knowledge base. Ideally, your company's internal data.
Using the content-aware storage?
Ideally, yes. It searches for relevant documents or specific passages. Then, it takes those relevant bits it found and gives them to the LLM along with the original question.
So it's like saying, okay, LLM, answer this question, but base your answer on these specific facts I just found for you.
Precisely. It grounds the LLM.
Mm.
It gives it context, facts, evidence from the real internal data source.
So it stops the guessing, or at least reduces it.
It dramatically reduces the chances of hallucination and makes the answer relevant to the specific context.
Right.
But here's the catch. RAG is only as good as the information it can retrieve. If that retrieval step is clunky, if it can't find the best, most relevant, most granular pieces of info from that mountain of unstructured data.
Then the LLM still doesn't have the right grounding material. Garbage in, slightly better garbage out, maybe?
Kind of, yeah. Or just a vague or incomplete answer. The LLM's response will still be suboptimal. And that is where content-aware storage becomes such a game changer.
Ah, okay, the light bulb just went on. So instead of RAG doing a sort of basic keyword search across this huge pile of random files,
Which is often slow and not very precise.
right, instead, the content-aware storage basically hands RAG a pre-filtered, highly relevant, semantically understood set of documents or even paragraphs, like, here are the exact passages you need.
Exactly. That's the core benefit. Content-aware storage makes RAG's retrieval step vastly better. Because it understands the meaning, the semantics, it can do these incredibly precise searches that go way beyond just matching keywords.
So it could find relevant information even if the query uses different words.
Absolutely. It understands synonyms, concepts, context. It can pinpoint the exact data point or paragraph needed for a complex question. Plus, it handles things like data freshness, automatically ensuring RAG gets the latest version. And it respects access permissions, which is critical.
Security. Yeah. Can't have the AI spilling secrets.
Definitely not. So the result is Argy-powered AI outputs that aren't just more accurate and grounded in fact, but also much more trustworthy and genuinely useful, actionable.
That really does sound powerful. It's not just finding a document, like you said, but the right insight within the right document almost instantly. What does this mean in practice? Like, what are the real-world benefits for companies putting this in place? Any examples?
Oh, loads.
Yeah.
The benefits really spread out. Think about a law firm.
Okay.
An AI using this could instantly sift through decades of case law, internal notes, past client advice stuff that would take a paralegal hours or days, and find that obscure but critical precedent instantly.
Huge time saver.
Massive. Or customer service. Imagine a chatbot that doesn't just follow a script, but actually pulls the precise troubleshooting step from a complex technical manual, cross-references it with recent support tickets for similar issues, and gives a truly helpful answer first time.
Faster resolutions, happier customers.
Exactly. And lower service costs.
Yeah.
Or, in finance, speeding up due diligence by analyzing tons of unstructured reports and market data way faster than humans can.
So the bottom line is what? Faster insights.
Faster insights, definitely. Significantly lower operational costs, less manual searching, less data wrangling, and actually simplified data governance and compliance because the system understands the data and can manage it better.
That makes total sense. It really shows how this isn't just about tweaking the AI, it's about gaining real competitive advantages. But, it sounds complex. Are there big hurdles? What should companies think about before jumping in?
That's a fair point. It's powerful, but it's not like flipping the switch. There's effort involved.
Like what?
Well, that initial step, ingesting and processing potentially huge amounts of legacy data that can be pretty intensive computationally and time-wise. Getting it all indexed and understood the first time.
Right, the initial setup.
And data quality is key. If the information going in is inaccurate or messy, the insights coming out won't be reliable. Garbage in, garbage out still applies, even with smart storage.
True.
And of course, you need to integrate this content-aware storage properly with your existing systems, your workflows. That needs careful planning.
So not trivial, but manageable challenges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're manageable. And the long-term payoff, the efficiency, the accuracy, the strategic insights you gain generally far outweighs that initial investment and effort. It's really about starting to see your data not just as something you have to store, but as a core strategic asset you can finally activate. And pulling it all together, when you have this content-aware storage properly implemented, you're not just making your AI systems incrementally better, you're genuinely gaining a cognitive edge for the entire organization.
A cognitive edge. I like that.
Yeah, by really unlocking the power hidden in all that unstructured data, you get faster, much more reliable insights. You cut down operational costs, sometimes dramatically, and you simplify how you manage and govern this complex data landscape.
And when you put all of that together, the accuracy boost, the speed, the access to your own unique knowledge, the result is AI that you can actually rely on. It becomes trustworthy, it becomes effective. And in today's world, especially as AI gets woven deeper into everything we do, those advantages, trust and effectiveness, They aren't just nice to haves, are they? They're pretty much essential.
Absolutely non-negotiable in the modern enterprise AI landscape.
So here's something for you, our listener, to think about. As you go through your day, just consider all that unstructured data that flows past you, your emails, internal reports, meeting notes, maybe even posts on internal company networks or professional social media.
It's a lot when you stop to think about it.
It really is. So the question is, what hidden insights might be locked away inside all that information? And how could actually unlocking them, making them accessible, maybe transform your own decision making or even your whole organization's strategy? Something to ponder.